Good morning. Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Our Mid-Manhattan Adult Learning Center family. MMALC stands for Mid-Manhattan Adult Learning Center. Thank you for joining us. So I want to introduce myself. My name is Sula Haska. I'm one of the case managers at Mid-Manhattan. And I'd like to introduce to you also another case manager and our engineer and our creator of this podcast, Carlos Rosas. Carlos, join us, please, just for a moment, so everyone sees who you are. And he's coming any moment. He is working at MMALC, and I am working remotely. So there he is. He's our engineer. He runs the show. He's the maestro. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you. So today we're going to give you an orientation on Mid-Manhattan's protocols and guidelines. And first things first, do me a favor in the chat box, please place your first name, your last name, and your teacher's name in the chat box. Please do that now. No nicknames, no DJ Jiggy, because we will not be able to find you. So please put the name that you use at the school, your legal name, first name, last name, and teacher's name. So in case we cannot read or figure out what your name is, sometimes I'm not a typist, I misspell, at least we could find you by going to your teacher, okay? Also, during this orientation, feel free to take pictures. It's a lot of information. In addition, after this is over tomorrow, if you missed anything, you can always use the same link to view this video again. Okay, so here we go. Don't forget, get your name and your teacher's name in the chat box. Okay, so welcome. Next. Here we go. Welcome to Mid-Manhattan Adult Learning Center. Next. Okay, our school is located at 212 West 120th Street in Harlem, New York City. Our phone number, 212-666-1919. Press 0 to get the office to pick up. And please make sure you take that phone number down so you have it. Okay? Next. The requirements is that you're over 21 years old and you live in one of the 5 boroughs. Okay. Next. Here we have our basic education for task preparation, ESL and CTE. Task is the new name for the old GED. It used to be the GED. It's now called the task. ESL is English for English as a second language, and CTE are the job training classes and also the computer classes. They're held at different times on different days, and you can see the schedule right there. Next. School registration is easy. Next. Okay, so you all filled out this form in order to enroll and register for classes at Mid-Manhattan. We took this information and we enrolled you in a class. So this is the fall inquiry form that you completed. Next. Okay, watch this video. This is how you set up your D79 email account. In order for students to work remotely, we use what's called a Google Classroom. And this video shows you how to use and navigate. So listen carefully, take pictures. Okay, there's no sound, so let's try. So this is a video on how to navigate your class. These instructions are for students who haven't been in a Google Classroom. So you're going to use a desktop computer, and to give you instructions for your cell phone. It'll come right after that. It would be good to view this again after. Okay, so you're going to receive an enrollment letter to your email, which you probably have, stating where you're enrolled, who your teacher is, the time that your class is. In the yellow, you see we have given you a D79 email address. Okay? It's a new account, a new email account that you have to set up in Google. Okay? This account is where your teacher is going to send information to, for those of you who are working remotely. So here you go to Google, the Google page. See the red arrow on the top right? You go to Gmail. If you have a Gmail account, make sure you sign out completely. Okay? You may notice in the upper right-hand corner a blue box with the word sign in. On that box, if you see it, you'll see it in the upper right-hand corner. You may have a Gmail account. If you do, you may notice that in the upper right. You see the arrow that shows the upper right. And it'll be colored with a letter in the middle. If you see this in the upper right-hand corner, please click on the colored circle. There you go. Once you click on it, a drop-down menu should appear. On this drop-down menu should be the option to add another account. That's what you want to do. You want to add another account. When you click into it, you're going to place that D79 email that we gave you. Okay? Then you click the word next. And you will, on the top, make sure you put your username that we gave you. Okay? It's the one that we gave you in the enrollment letter. Okay? It probably has your name, a dot, your first initial, a dot, and your last name at D-79. It's case sensitive, so please, Then you're going to enter a temporary password, which is Google123. You have to put it in exactly as it is there in red. Google123. Please make sure that the first G in Google is capitalized because it's case sensitive. Then you click the word next. On the screen, it just asks you to accept the terms and conditions of these services provided by Google. So just at the bottom, you click accept. Just be reassured that your privacy and your information is safe and will not be shared with anyone or with a third party. Next, you'll be prompted to create a brand new password. Okay, only one that you know. So this is what the page looks like. The staff and teachers at Mid-Manhattan will not know your password. So please make sure you write it down, put it in your phone. Okay. Create one you're going to remember. Okay. Once you put that in, you'll be able to access your D79 email. Okay. Please be aware that don't be confused this email with your personal Gmail account. So anytime your teacher corresponds with you, they'll be contacting you via your D79 email account. So make sure you're logged into your D79. So you want to be on the lookout for an email that's titled Class Invitations. You see that red arrow is pointing. It says Class Invitation. When you see the email, click on it, please. When you click on it, this will open a page that looks like this. Click on the word Join in blue where that arrow's pointing. And you'll be directed to your Google Classroom. Okay, in the next part of the video, we're going to show you how to navigate your Google Classroom. This is what your Google Classroom will look like. It's very important that you meet with your classmates on the appointed day and times that your class meets. So when you arrive in your classroom, make sure that you click on the Meet link where the arrow is. This is where your teachers will meet you virtually. So after the first day of class, you might find that the easiest way is just to go directly to the Google Play page. Go to Classroom is to go google.com directly, and you'll see the 9 dots. It'll give you a drop-down menu. And when you see the drop-down menu, you can scroll down and select Google Classroom. See, it's on below. It's a green box. That's a more direct link to your teacher's classroom. Don't forget, you must be logged into your D79 account anytime you go into a classroom. Without logging into that account, you will not have access to your Google Classroom. Okay, this next section of the video is for those students who are accessing their D79 account and Google Classroom by their cell phone, be it iPhone or Samsung. The very first step you want to make is to find the Gmail icon on your smartphone. It's a standard icon that comes with most iPhones and Samsungs alike. You can click on that. If you do not have a Gmail account, this should be fairly simple procedure for you. You have to do is you have to log in with a D79 username and password. If you already have a Gmail account that is linked to your cell phone, the process is a little bit more involved. Once you click on your Gmail icon in the upper right-hand corner, you should see a colored circle, the one pointed out in this clip. Click on that colored circle. A drop-down menu should appear that will give you the option to add another account. You can click on Add Another Account and then log in with your D79 username and password. A student who's participating in a class, though, through a smartphone or a tablet, it is strongly encouraged that you download the Google Classroom app. You can go to Google, enter Google Classroom in the search engine, and you should find the link to download or install the Google Classroom app on your cell phone or on your tablet. You'll find that this will simplify the experience of participating in class. Okay, if you have any questions or concerns, please email us. You know, it could be a little challenging, but you can inquire, you can ask your teacher, you can feel free to email the case manager who sent the enrollment letter to you, okay? Everything is free, free. Okay, you'll find the email, all that information in the initial enrollment letter that was sent to your email. So I hope this helps. That's why you can look at this video again, because it's a little tricky, but it's not that tricky once you start doing it. Okay? Next. This is very important. If you have a personal Gmail account, you need to sign out of it completely, or you will not be able to get into your D79 email account. The state mandates that all of our students have and use a D79 account. A lot of times, some of our most frequent problems that we hear from the students is, I can't get into my D79. And that's because they didn't sign out of their Gmail account. You have to make sure you sign out completely. Then you'll be able to go into your D79 account. Okay, next. Adult basic education, the road to obtaining your high school equivalency diploma. This year, there are many new additional ways to obtain your task diploma. And your task is just another way of saying it's the new GED. So we offer 4 different pathways. The task, you could take the 5 subtests: reading, writing, the essay in parentheses, math, science, social studies. Take all 5, you pass that, you've got it. The second way is 24 college credits. It's possible to apply to obtaining a task diploma if you have 24 college credits. The third is GED passing scores. If you took the GED passings and passed some of the subjects from 2003 to 2013, you may use up to 4 passing GED test scores in combination with at least 1 passing task exam score. So if you passed 4 of the subjects on the GED, you have to take 1 subject in the task. So choose that subject in the strongest subject that I got this. And the recent addition is the Regents. Students may use a passing New York City Department of Education Regents score in place of a task subtest. The student must take at least 1 task subtest to use any Regents scores of 65% or higher. So this is an important page to look at. Take your phones, take a picture, click, click. On the bottom in white, the task assessment coordinator is Miss Mustafa. If you're in the classroom in person, she's not here yet. She's working remotely also. But in September, when we go back, you could find her in room 300. Or you can email Miss Mustafa at her email address right here on the bottom of the page. Okay? I hope this is informative for you. This is an important page, so take a picture. Next. Have you taken the GED already? Did you pass any parts? If you did, raise your hand. Oh, I see a few people. I see a few people there. Okay, so we can help you apply the GED subtests towards receiving your task HSE diploma. Next. This is another pathway. Do you believe that you passed any Regents when you attended high school? Raise your hand. I see a couple of people. I see another person. There you go. Well, we can also help you apply the Regents exams towards receiving your task HSE diploma. Next. Okay, receiving an Hse waiver. What a waiver means is that temporarily the state puts through that because of the COVID pandemic, they have relaxed some rules and they have created certain ways that you can get your task. Here it says you have already passed 3 or 4 subjects on the task or GED test. The second bullet, you complete the necessary academic work in your class. And the third is you remain enrolled in class until the waiver is granted. So let me explain. In order to get a waiver or to get a pass to receive your task, you have to be in class. You can't just say, I'm going to be in class for this week and then disappear and think you're going to receive a waiver. It doesn't work that way. So you have to first be enrolled in class and stay there and do the work. You have to complete the academic work, because what happens is your teacher will see that you are qualified to receive the HSE waiver. Once your teacher sees that you are qualified, you're in class, you're doing the work, he or she will then complete an application for the waiver, and you may be granted a waiver. I hope that was clear. Next. So receive credit for passing Regents exam. Passing scores from Regents exams taken in high school may be substituted for a corresponding task subject. Okay? Remember, the passing score has to be 65%. Also, the Regents ELA exam may be used in place of both the reading and the writing task subjects. So this is wonderful. Oh, and just to piggyback on what I mentioned about the waiver goes until June of this year. After that, they're changing it. So please, while you're in class, hurry up, see if you can take the task, okay, and get the waiver. Okay, next. Don't forget, attendance is important. When you log into your Google Classroom, you must fill out your daily attendance. So let me explain to you. The state gives us funding for every student who is in the classroom. If students do not attend the classroom, do not fill out the daily attendance, we lose that funding from the state. And that's what keeps these classes free for you. If you're not going to show up and there are not enough students in the classroom, they may close the classroom down. We've seen it happen before. We don't want that to happen. We know how important these classes are to you and to us. We want to make sure you remain on your path to success. Okay? Next. Oh, here it goes. Please, you register for the class. We're thinking you want the class, so please commit to attending the class. Okay? Give your all. You should be in class for every session, for the entire session. If you have an occasional appointment, please let your teacher know that you'll be absent. Don't just disappear. Okay? Because would you do that at work? Would you just not show or call in or email? No, I don't think so. So just be considerate so that the teacher can then know where you are, know that you're fine, and that you're safe. Next. While you're in class and you're doing the work, you must complete what's called a work time record. It's provided by your teacher bi-weekly. Every 2 weeks, you will receive a form. See what the form looks like? It's Student Work Time Record Sheet. The purpose of this document is to give you credit for the work that you complete. Without this being filled out and submitted, we don't get credit for you. You don't get credit. We miss out on the funding. It's very, very important. Most students don't know how we get funded. Now you know. Next. Dress code. I like this picture. Everyone looks professional. Next. Recommended dress code. In remote and in-person clothing, please wear clothing that's appropriate for the virtual classroom. Polo shirts, button-down shirts, blouses, t-shirts, sweatshirts, or sleeveless dresses or shirts with straps no less than 3 inches wide. We don't want little spaghetti straps. We want you to look professional, like that picture that we saw before. Next. Okay, our students are still expected to dress appropriately during their virtual class sessions. The following dress code will apply. This just repeats what we just said. Make sure you look good. You wouldn't come to a virtual meeting in your pajamas. Whatever we see, whatever you wear on the bottom, that's different. Whatever we see, make sure this looks pretty good. Make sure you look professional. Oh, in addition, for those of you who came in maybe a little late, make sure you place your first name, your last name, and your teacher's name in the chat box. Please place it in the chat box so we can get credit for your attendance, and you get credit for your attendance. In addition, if you have any questions, feel free to place it in the chat box. Okay? All right. Next. Clothing items not allowed. Tank tops, halter tops, spaghetti strap tops, any shirt or blouse exposing any area above the waist, any shorts or skirts that could be considered revealing or distracting, any item of clothing with inappropriate writing, logos, advertising, alcohol, or drugs is not accepted. Okay? While the dress code for virtual classroom is much more relaxed than the traditional school uniform, students are still expected to dress and be groomed in a respectful and appropriate manner. Please do not wear any see-through blouses or wear them low cut where you can see cleavage, or, we want to make sure that we are not distracted. We need to focus on our academics. Okay? You all know that. We're adults, but we have to mention it. Next. Okay. Manhattan Adult Learning Center, MMALC, offers many workshops and podcasts to meet the needs of the students. We hope to see you there. So just so you know, once you're in a classroom, what we do, we will send the teachers a notice to say, we're having a podcast on Thursday. It happens to deal with college and career readiness. And the teacher will then filter that information to his or her students so that you can join the podcast. The podcast is the same format. You will have to put your name and your teacher's name in the chat box. And you also will get the opportunity to view it again, because this will be on YouTube. You just use the same link, you click in, you watch it again, and you get the information. Sometimes I know this is a lot of information to receive, but once you see it again, it'll be that much easier to digest the information. Okay, we look forward to seeing you. We look forward to seeing you in the virtual classrooms, and we look forward to seeing you in person for those of you who chose to enter the school in person. Next. Okay. I think we're done. Let me just see. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions, Carlos?
No questions. Just a couple of things I'm thinking. There was a couple students here who didn't. There was a student named Trey. Nice to meet you, Trey. Just type okay, but we need to know your last name and your teacher's name. Just so we can count your attendance. Anybody else who has not yet counted their attendance, that would also be helpful. You can type in your name and your teacher's name in the chat box. That would be very much appreciated. Okay.
You know what? I would like to mention something about the task test. An Hse waiver, just to go over this, is a release or modifying of agreements that the state makes. So it's usually just a temporary thing. So this waiver, please, it is over. It is over in June. The last day in June, they will not allow us to do waivers anymore. Also, the task results, I wanted to give you some information because some of you might be thinking, oh, I forgot to ask. But the results, after you take the task test, you have to wait 8 to 10 weeks after the task test date. The test is 9 hours. They don't do it in one shot. It's usually two separate days. And the passing score is 500. Okay. And for the writing, 2 out of 8 for the score. If you get 2 out of 8 points, 8 points is the maximum that you can receive in the writing. If you get a 2, you pass. Okay. Ms. Campbell wants to know, I want to know if you pass 3 subjects in the test, will you pass? No. Okay. You need to make sure also, if you are ready to take the task test, you need to speak with your teacher because at the school and even working remotely, we have everything in school. We do the task test right there at Mid-Manhattan Adult Learning Center. You let your teacher know. Your teacher will then complete an application with you online, which will then go to Miss Mustafa, who is the coordinator of that. Okay, we want to make sure that you get what you need. Everything is in-house. We try to help all students get where they're going in a successful manner. So you need to speak with your teacher because your teachers know all this information. And also, I hope you took Mr. Nipper is saying to qualify for the waiver, they must have passed 3 exams already. Okay, 3 subjects already. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nipper. That was helpful information. So get that information to your teachers. Okay. Make sure you do that because June is quickly approaching. It is Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo. It's the 5th. So May will slip by before you know it. So make sure you speak with your teacher. Your teacher will see whether you're ready, and he or she will facilitate that for you. Okay, let's see if there's any other information. Any other questions, Mr. Carlos? Okay. Oh, thank you. Tomorrow, we have a podcast, okay, at 11:15 on college and career readiness. You can email Carlos Rosas at his D79 email. This is very informative. David Perez will be giving this workshop tomorrow, and he is very good presenter. He's going to give you information on different kind of colleges, how to get your college paid for, and how to apply. They help you from soup to nuts. How to apply, who to contact once you go to the college. They have all that information ready for you. And one caveat, you have to already have passed the task or the GED or have your high school diploma, but that's something different. So you have to already have passed the task. Once you have that, then he knows he could work with you, but he's still giving this information because some of you are almost ready. Some of you, this is good information to have, put in your back pocket so that you can then use it in the future when you are ready. Again, the podcast will be recorded for all of you to view it again at your convenience. You just are going to have to use the same link that we send to you. This podcast can also be viewed again by using that same link that you used to get on this. So it probably will be ready tomorrow for you to look at again. And I hope this was helpful. Mr. Rosas, what if you passed in the past years ago? I hope you took a picture of that page from 2003 to 2013. But if you passed it, you already have it, right? So are you going to take computer classes? We offer computer classes, Microsoft Word Suite, either certification or non-certification classes. We also offer, Carlos, I'd love for you to mention this. We also offer job training classes, free. Carlos, can you please share Co-op Tech with our participants?
Sure. There seems to be a little problem with audio on this end, so if something sounds a little odd, let me know. I'm actually going to put on my headphones just in case. All right. Let's see. Does it sound better?
Keep talking.
All right. Can you hear me all right?
No.
You can't.
No. Disconnect. Start talking.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. We'll just have to go with this one. So Co-op Tech, we offer some vocational classes. We're not sure when those classes are going to resume because ever since we've got into quarantine, they've been suspended indefinitely. But we do offer classes when we resume. We'll probably be offering classes like welding, electrical installation, carpentry, culinary, A+ computer repair, OSHA. Did I mention building maintenance?
Mm.
So those are the classes that we offer. Again, I can't tell you when they're going to resume. The goal is to try to get it started by the summertime. Hopefully that'll happen. No one can apply yet, but what I can tell you is that if you are in-house, please make sure that your attendance is strong if you're interested in any of those classes, because then you'll get first preference. There was some other questions. Ezekiel Bly, how do you attend class? Yeah, I don't know if you want to get into that.
Well, you attend class by completing an inquiry form, a registration form. Carlos, are you able to put that inquiry form in the chat box? I know it's asking you to do it quickly.
The inquiry form? Yeah, I can do that. That's not a problem.
Okay, so what Carlos is going to do, he's going to place in the chat box a link to the registration form. Once you click onto the registration form, you will then complete all that information that we're asking. Please fill it out as completely as you can, because when you don't fill it out completely, then we have to call you in order to get information. Okay, so once you fill that out, then a case manager will look at that and then see what class is appropriate for you and send you an enrollment letter. And then you can be in the class. So those of you who placed your name into the chat box and you are in a class, you're new to the class, or you're old to the class, or you've been in the class for a little while but never attended an orientation, please make sure you put your first name, your last name, your teacher's name. If you are not in a class yet or have not registered, because sometimes people say, oh, I have a friend who wants to watch. Please put next to your name, not registered yet. Because then we know, oh, this person is not in attendance yet. So that we know, we can only get credit for those who are in our school, in our classrooms right now. But you will be one of our family members soon. Okay, Carlos just put the link in the chat box. So you can click on that link and apply.
Mr. Nipper also just provided us with some really good information. I'm going to put it up on the screen here. Mr. Nipper is one of our case managers. He's also working remotely. So you can contact Ms. Mustafa if you passed the GED prior to 2014. There is an application where you can fill out the state, will search for your past exams.
Yeah. Because if you don't have your scores, that's what they need. They need your scores. They need to see that you can't just say, oh, I passed it. You need to show proof. And if you don't have the documentation with you, as Carlos stated, you could always fill out an application, get those scores from the state, and then present it. Okay, anything else? Any other questions, Carlos?
No, so far, just letting our viewers know that you do have a couple more minutes if you have any further questions. Also, don't forget, you can pass this information along to friends and family if you have friends and family who are interested. Summertime, this might be a good time to talk about summer, because it looks like the bulk of our summer classes will be live in the building.
Yes.
Don't want anyone to panic about that. Please know that our maintenance staff is working very hard just to make sure that everything's sanitized. But by all intents, by all accounts, I should say, it looks like we'll be pretty much getting back to normal, if not by the summer, definitely by September.
Yes.
So if you're interested in attending a summer class, you can also let us know. It might be a little too early to apply, but if you give us the information, at least we'll be able to kind of hold your name and your information on file.
And just so you know, right now, classes are limited. We can only have 9 students per class. But I think over the summer, they've extended it to 12. So if you want a class, get in now. Get in now.
Yeah, we'll have day, we'll have evening, we'll have Saturday, all different types of classes. And it is very possible co-op tech classes will return for the summer.
That would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. Because it's all hands-on. So you're working, in a room doing construction, or you're working in a room doing your computer networking with other colleagues, or other participants. So it's a wonderful experience. So thank you so much, Carlos. Thank you everyone for joining us. We look forward to seeing you soon, I hope, whether it's going to be over the summer or whether it's going to be in September. Join us for tomorrow's podcast on college and career readiness. You will receive, your teachers already received the link. Please make sure you ask your teachers for that information, because I know they're going fast and you probably have received that information. It just went out today again as a reminder. And in the morning, tomorrow morning, we will send out the reminder as well. So thank you so much for joining us. We know how important it is, how your day is important, and we value the fact that you took the time to join us on this with this orientation. And we look forward to seeing you. I think I need to drink some water. Cheers. We'll see you another day. Thank you. Bye-bye.